Hello, my name is Jim. This is my channel, Books, Reading and Stuff. It is the 1st of July, so it's time to put out a TBR. In June, I had 6 books on my TBR, and I read 3 on the TBR, including Night Circus and On the Gallows. I've put out a video about On the Gallows. I have to put out a review sometime of Night Circus. It's a great read. I'm still processing it. I also read The Last Viking. One book I started but didn't get very far with was Asylum. I'm DNFing this. For me, it was too YA, it was too young, it was the teenage protagonists. Didn't really intrigue me enough to keep reading. So, on to July. And first on the list is this one, The Forest of Memories by Nato Kipiani. Nato Kipiani is a Georgian writer writing in English. This was on my June TBR. I didn't get to it then. I don't know a lot about it. I can read the blurb. The Forest of Memories is the debut novel of a young Georgian writer, Nato Kipiani, written in English. It's a story about loss, remorse, and reunion. The author brilliantly and vividly describes the emotional struggle of Dylan, or Genji, the protagonist, who spent his childhood in a village in southern Japan, together with a neighbor boy, Ayumu, his closest friend, but left there to another country after a painful tragedy of his life. Since then, he has been captured in the Forest of Memories, with apparently no way out. I like the cover, and I like the fact it's a Georgian writer writing in English. I want to read as many Georgian writers in English as I can. Next on the list is Poole's Gold by C J Petit. This I was reading for June TBR, and it was very long. It's 770 pages, and I've read 645. It's about a secret agent called Sean Casey, who's investigating some counterfeiters near Carson City in Nevada. It's interesting, but I think it's far too long. I expect to finish it in the next day or two. Then I have a NetGalley arc, Silent Bones by Rachel Lynch, which is already out. It was published at the end of June. It's a police procedural set in the Lake District in England, and 2 bodies have been discovered, and the detective thinks there's a connection between the 2. Then I have this, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I don't know a lot about this book. It was a Goodreads choice book of last year, and I said in a previous video that I'd been turned down for a request for the arc, and Djeli, who's in the Tbilisi book swap, kindly lent me her copy. So thank you, Djeli, and I'll let you know what I think of it when I read it. The Catcher in the Rye, J D Salinger. This will be a reread for me, and I read it maybe 30 years ago, and I really didn't like it the first time. So I'm going to see if my reading taste has changed and whether I can stomach Holden Caulfield this time round. It'll be an interesting experiment. Then I have a short novella, The Haunting of Tramcar 015 by P. Djeli Clark. This is set in the steampunk Cairo of A Master of Djinn, which I enjoyed, but that was a full-length novel. This is just a novella. It's set in the early 20th century, and I like P. Djeli Clark's world building. And July on BookTube wouldn't be July without Jane Austen July. Last year I read Persuasion and Jane Austen July. This year I'm reading Little Women, but it's not by Jane Austen, I hear you say, and you'd be correct. This is not a Regency romance. It's not by Jane Austen. Louisa May Alcott is not even British, she's American. I've never read Little Women. It is the tale of 4 sisters, and Pride and Prejudice was a tale of 5 sisters, so I'm going to see if there's some connections. I was thinking about Sense and Sensibility, but I didn't really feel in the mood for Sense and Sensibility, so I'll be trying Little Women for Jane Austen July. If you've read any of these books, you can let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.